Hi, this is Scott Currier, and this is supplemental material from my talk at CodeCamp at Microsoft in Waltham, Massachusetts. I thought I'd focus a little bit more on the code aspects of the talk. So if you want to reach me, there's plenty of ways to do it. About me / Scott Currier. Let me just skip down a little bit to the code. The code is on developing Silverlight, and the narrative involved a couple other things. Connected systems was one narrative, and I also wanted to demonstrate a little prototyping platform that I created called Xaptic. And I'll just demo Xaptic right now. I'm sure if you're looking at YouTube, you'll see some other examples of it. So this is Xaptic. It's just a prototyping area for Silverlight. Also going to be doing a little bit more in the HTML5 area in this regard, although I'm very happy with this. It's a great little tool for prototyping. So as you can see, I'm going to pull on a couple of web parts. These are just web parts that I created for the talk on connected systems. You can see that I'm able to drag and drop, and as a matter of fact, I can also drag on other types of web parts, and I could also remove them. I could drag on a news web part that I created, and I can drag on an HTML web part, and I can drag on as many of those as I want. So I'm just sort of demoing the platform. Really, I also wanted to talk about sort of communication between web parts as well. So if I get back to the presentation, the first thing is, how am I actually doing this with the platform? How am I actually moving things around? How am I hiding and showing things? And one of the tricks that you use with Silverlight, it's not really a trick, is you can use script object and the Windows get property. And what these end up doing is referencing JavaScript functions that you've actually defined in the page. So this code right here is actually within the platform itself. So if I pop back and I open up SharePoint Designer, you're going to see, first of all, you're going to see this site right here, and this is actually the page that Xaptic is living on right now. If you look in the behind the scenes here, you're going to see I have these very same functions showing up in the page, and then in the actual Silverlight code, I actually have these functions showing up right here. So that's kind of the trick for that. I'm also using jQuery in this particular page, and if you go up to the top of the page, you can kind of see I'm using it here very directly. The only thing I really did on this page is just pop in a content placeholder, and then I just popped in my HTML and JavaScript. So there's not really anything too difficult here. And if you move down here a little bit, you're gonna find that the actual system itself, the Xaptic system, is actually right here, Xaptic.silverlight.xap. So very easy, nothing major. And then what I do is I just expand this really to the size of the window. So it's really just another Silverlight web part, but the good thing is it allows you to host multiple web parts conveniently. All right, so that was the first thing that I wanted to kind of demo. Next is this is sort of the functions used to move things around, and you can kind of see how I did this. It's very simple jQuery for moving things around on the page. That's how I actually get things to drag. The next thing I wanted to demonstrate at the Code Camp was building a web part that allowed you to send and receive messages. So there's a couple of ways of doing that. First of all, in the platform itself, you can create your own thread that actually does message queuing, or you can use some of the built-in features of Silverlight. So here I've used a couple built-in features. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Property Editor. This widget's going to be called You, and you're going to be able to receive data from me. So if I open up this widget, I'm going to make this widget ID me, and I'm going to be able to receive from you. And this makes the communication bidirectional. All right, now there's a little bug here, and I haven't figured out exactly what it is, but you kind of have to refresh on this particular application. So now if I type in A and I hit the send button, you see A shows up over here. And now if I type in B, you can see B shows over here. So this is a very simple way of communicating between Silverlight user controls, basically on the same page. Now, if you look in the code, you're going to see that the only thing that I'm really doing, well, first of all, this is actually the code for just the tile web part that you just saw. And here are the properties. It's very easy actually to create. It's extremely easy to create web parts for this platform. So I wanted to have 5 properties: header, description, tile color, widget ID, and receive from. And if you go in here, you can actually just see them, and they just populate right here. And of course, I have like a little pop-up if I wanted to do a little bit more, convenient editing here. And that's that. So now if you look back in the code, you're going to see those properties are defined, and these properties are field type text. And then there's just a little bit of code right down here that allows me to send and receive. So this is sort of the local message sender. This is the local message receiver, and it's an identical web part. So I can put multiple instances up there. So if I put 2, I could make them send and receive from each other, which is what I just demonstrated a few minutes ago. So that's kind of the code there. And in case you're wondering, I created a very convenient way to create new projects that build these web parts. And I'm not going to call them web parts, actually. That's probably a trade-named thing. But if you use the Xaptic Silverlight widget, you're going to be able to just pretty much create a starting project, which is going to be really that tile. And I'm going to include, since this is sort of a new addition, I'm going to move that into the Xaptic API. This is just going to be an assembly that you connect, to your project to make it sort of compatible with Xaptic. So Xaptic is really, what am I using it for? It's really right now just a rapid prototyping environment. I can create quite an advanced UI. And at CodeCamp, one of the suggestions that I received at the end of the talk was, why not, get the latest version of Expression Blend and just try to use that to kind of make this thing look a little bit nicer. So that's pretty much it. So I hope you got a little bit more out of the code pieces here than you would have otherwise. All right, thanks a lot.